Final Whistle podcast. Mayo 2 goals and 21 points. New York 2 goals and 6 points. Yes, nailed it. This is an hour and a half after the game, and I did that. That's not going to get much more credit than that. I'm Rob Murphy. Mayo are into the Connacht semi-final, and that in itself has to be celebrated because Connacht championships have not necessarily been our friend in the past. John Gunnigan, who knows what we'll take from this? Maybe we'll hear a bit more in the podcast. We've got a lot of voices, but the sun has finally gone down. It's a bit chilly. It was a great afternoon.
Oh, it's an unbelievable afternoon. I mean, I'm so blown away, I have to say, by the whole weekend. But especially, and I know the match isn't the centrepiece for the whole weekend. We keep saying that, but I think being at a match here in a place packed to the rafters, there could have been, I don't know, maybe we're thinking maybe 6,000 or 7,000 people here.
Unconfirmed.
It really is a unique fixture, and I think you and I, Rob, had a unique positioning.
Mike Finnerty got us access all areas.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was,
unconfirmed.
It was such an afternoon. Yeah, it was really, really enjoyable. I mean, I think from a footballing point of view, obviously there'd be question marks over lots of things. I think particularly the concession of the 2 goals in the second half and our failure to take any one of 5 really good goal chances at the other end. But I think you have to kind of mark down the occasion, that worn down synthetic pitch and all of that. Can we read too much into it? I'm not sure we can.
Mike Finnerty, how are you?
Tired, Rob. My fifth.
What were you doing while we were working?
If you pick up a newspaper tomorrow, you'll hopefully read all about it. This is my 5th time here. I had to just double check in my head, and I'd go so far as to say that was possibly the most enjoyable since maybe the first time in 2004. I'm not quite sure. The weather made it. We were here in 19, sitting on the bleachers, wearing ponchos, getting drenched wet, and the game was nowhere near as competitive. People will look at the scoreline and say, well, it doesn't look very competitive to me. But, considering Mayo were 12 points up at half-time and New York could have folded, and nobody would have batted an eyelid. New York really did get stuck in to Mayo in the second half. Scored, was it 2-4 in the second half? Made it uncomfortable at times. Mayo were always going to win the game, but they gave it a lash, and there was a great atmosphere here as well. Now that probably
really good.
Yeah, it probably helps when there's glorious sunshine and people are having a few beers and they get into the spirit of it. But the 2 New York goals were definitely highlights for them. And I know we're going to hear from Seán Reilly later on in the pod, whose dad Kenneth played for Charlestown for years. He's a native New Yorker, great guy. And, to have him and Jack Riley involved as well, representing the Mayo Club in New York, and just given the local interest was great as well. From Mayo point of view, just chatting to Kevin McStay briefly down at the dressing rooms there. I think Mayo just really, like we had suggested in the build-up, they just wanted to get in and get out in one piece. I gather they haven't picked up any new injuries. They've won this game and they move on to Roscommon in 2 weeks' time. But if today was a test or in some way another chance to see if this project is worth continuing with, then I think it gets in my opinion, a ringing endorsement. I mean, the way it was organised, the big crowd, the weather, and actually the game itself. That's. I don't think we could have asked for much more. Mayo didn't beat the handicap, but a 15-point win is not to be sneezed at either.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the performance, the 2 roars that greeted those 2 New York goals, I think that was worth a triple alone, wasn't it?
Yeah. Proper prize, especially that second one. Yeah. I think at that stage they were, because they had to get a bit tetchy for a while.
Yeah, and
nice edge.
New York were 12 down at half time and they finished up 15 down. So that second half was a performance of them was really, really good.
EBS, the Mortgage Masters, are proud partners of the Mayo Football Podcast. So whether you're at home or abroad, EBS in Castlebar is your one-stop shop for advice and information on mortgages. You can find them online or call into the office on Market Street in Castlebar. Hastings Insurance is proud to support the Mayo Football Podcast. Best of luck to the Mayo footballers in New York this week. Ireland West Airport is supporting the Mayo Football Podcast in New York. Check in with Aer Lingus' new daily service to London Heathrow and check out their daily connections to New York, Boston, Washington, Toronto, and over 80 destinations worldwide. Check your bags in at Ireland West Airport and collect them at your end destination. For more information and to book, visit www.aerlingus.com and ba.com or visit your local travel agent. Ireland West Airport. Don't just take off, take it easy.
Great stuff, John. Also joining us on the podcast, friend of the podcast, a man who's just, I don't know whether to call you our fixer because you just looked after us. Fixer just underestimates what you've done for us. Marcus Hannock, welcome back to the podcast for one more contribution before you jump in the car and go and relax.
Well, I don't know to be relaxing now, but we're probably going to go up to McLean Avenue somewhere. So
We were there yesterday.
We'll find out. Yeah, the parade was there yesterday, and we were
there this evening as well, Rob.
We will.
It's our new favourite street.
No, the place will be hopping. But no, we're all good now. We're the batteries are getting low now, but after the weekend. But no, it's been a great weekend and a great day as well. And look, it was a great win for Mayo. Look, not massively convincing, but at the same time, as Mike said, it's just great for them just to get in and out.
In a weird way, is that kind of nearly a perfect result for you? No injuries from Mayo. They kick 2-21, that's grand. But New York do something to do themselves proud, and you're proud of your New Yorkers as well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No, they put in a good show. I thought the first 20 minutes they actually done okay. I know they clipped away points, but they were kind of keeping them at bay for a lot of it. And I know the second half didn't put in the scores. But no, I think they should be proud of themselves, and we're all proud of them here as well.
It's going to be my go-to question, I think, for the night, Rob. But I'm just wondering, Marcus, again, as someone who played it and you can read a game, what impressed you most about Mayo? And if you were part of the setup, what are you worried about maybe going into the Roscommon game? Just, I'm trying to think even through myself. Like New York did open them up for the 2 goals. There was once or twice in the first half in particular where, Colm Boyle was playing as this +1 or this sweeper. He's a long way out if we get turned over. Like Mayo lucky not to concede a goal. They're the kind of things that maybe jump out for me a bit.
No, I think that's definitely it. I think we seem to be a bit more open at the back than we have been in other years for sure. And between that and then Roscommon didn't have a few good, very good forwards as well. So like that is a concern. And as well up front, Ryan. I don't know. I just know to get 113 he got. So the over reliance on him as well. Hopefully Tommy Conroy is going to get up and running back at it again. So yeah, look, there's a few concerns there, but and Roscommon are definitely going to test us.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a takeaway from Marcus. It's just that kind of. Yeah, it's just that kind of challenges. But you also wonder too, did the game just lose its edge then? And maybe that's part of it.
I'm wondering as well, Marcus, because we were all over here in the commentary box, in the press box, mingling around the ground and moving around the ground. What was the atmosphere like? Because it felt like it was bouncing with the sun and obviously the big crowd, capacity crowd. How did it compare to other years, did you think?
Yeah, no, it was very good. I was only at the start. I was stewarding as well. We were down in one corner, but around the ground it seemed that it was hopping. Like any time there was a score, there was a good roar, and especially for the 2 goals that New York scored, as we were saying.
Did everyone get in?
Oh jeez, there was I think it was up to half time. There was still people coming in, and there was queues down to Broadway there and all that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a bit crazy, but no, everyone got in anyway. So it was a good day, and it was well run in the end.
And the weird thing was, apparently, it was cold over there in the shade. But it was like we were baked here in the sun.
Sunburned. We're sunburned.
We could have done with some suntan.
Sunburn here as well, yeah.
That's the way it is. Marcus, thanks a million for all your contributions to the podcast.
No problem at all. And look, thanks again, lads, for all what you done over the weekend. We had an absolutely brilliant weekend, and on behalf of the club and all of us here, thanks a million. Really appreciate it, and best of luck.
I don't think I've ever seen a kind of a relationship that works both ways, because it's made it for us hanging out with you guys, so I can't push that back enough.
I'm just after remembering I met Michael Ruan on the way in.
Did you? So did we.
I don't know, 10 hours ago, however long ago it was. And the first thing he said, was that he was heading off to the bog to foot turf, jokingly, obviously, instead of going to the game. And then the last thing he said before we left was, don't worry, I'll see you when I'm home for the All-Ireland. So don't ever change, Michael Ruan.
He is the believer.
Yeah, we should have had him here talking and put a bit more positivity.
221, first game. What's wrong with you? All right, from here to straight after the game, Colm Boyle. Colm Boyle, welcome to the podcast. as we record this, the game is like only seconds over the pitch being invaded by the supporters who were just probably getting uncomfortable with how close they were to each other up on that hill, and he's going to get away from people. But it's a strange kind of scoreline, 2-21 to 2-6. It's Mayo total control at half time, but a couple of New York goals which will hurt them.
Well, look, I think it's not going to overly concern them. I think there were brilliant goals from New York. First of all, they were really well worked. Like the first one from Frank O'Reilly, like that's as good as goal you've probably seen in the championship this year. And Jamie Boyle, I mentioned in commentary there, like he had a nightmare of a first half. Mark and Ryan O'Donoghue, who was just absolutely electric, but in fairness to him, he gets up the pitch in that second half and kicks a brilliant goal. But look, from a Mayo point of view, they came out here and did what exactly you wanted them to do. They won the game comfortably. In a game like this, Rob, it always gets messy towards the end. In the last 20 minutes you saw that, like, where the atmosphere was completely flat. We were getting numerous shots away, but a lot of them not going over the bar, and it's probably left 4 or 5 goal chances behind us as well. So overall, you'll be reading nothing into this game really, other than if you're disappointed in a couple of things, you're probably more disappointed that Ryan O'Donnell's kicking 113 out of 221, is it? And you're not getting scores from play for the likes of Tommy Conroy, who's been lacking scores throughout the league. Aidan O'Shea, no score from play. Fergal Boland, just 1 score from play. So these are all things that Kevin McStay will be looking at and knowing, playing Roscommon in 2 weeks' time, you're going to need to get more boys on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we got a penalty in there from Cillian O'Connor, but there was about 4 kind of clear-cut goal chances that didn't come to anything as well. Yeah. I know there was 2 goals, but that kind of the shot there from O'Shea that was blocked. There was another one a little bit later. I've actually forgotten who it was.
Yeah. Do you know what? Sometimes it can be too easy. You know what I mean? And just it almost feels like it's a training session more than a game. And
like
maybe
that was Sam Callanan's one. That's who it was.
Yeah, he just ran through and he never really hit it at all. Never really make a connection or look comfortable on it. And that can happen sometimes in a game like this. But you'd be hoping in the height, if you get 2 goal chances, that you're at least taking one of them. And you'd be happy with that. But look, it is what it is, Rob. I think today, like I said, they just came, got the job done. We're looking like we got sunburnt. That's something what we weren't expecting, having to bring sun cream here. But it's looking from overall, Mayo will be happy just to get out. I think looking out there, it didn't look like anyone got injured or was coming off injured.
So I was thinking about this because I was close to all the subs. Bob Toohey, I don't think he was initially coming off, and then they took him off at half time, and he looked disappointed. But I think there might have been some sort of issue there. I might be wrong. We'll ask afterwards. And Tommy Conroy obviously took that hit.
Yeah, he did. He took the hit, and I think it got called off for a blood sub. So I don't know, is it an injury or was there blood? Or did they just not decide to bring him on? I'd probably like to see that one back again. It was a late hit. Tommy looked like he was kind of off balance or maybe coming up off the ground, and he got the hit from Image O'Keneally, who wasn't the first hit he made today. He was trying to leave as much on the Mayo players as he would, which is what you expect when you come out here, and in fairness he was doing that. So look, hopefully Tommy is alright. David McBreen came off early in the second half as well, but I would assume that was pre-planned as well, trying to get boys on the pitch and looking ahead to obviously in Roscommon in 2 weeks' time. So I suppose you probably only know when you chat to Kevin in a couple of minutes exactly the stint of the injuries or who exactly did pick up any injuries, but hopefully if there was something, that it's not too major.
Brian genuinely was in midfield. How did it go from your point?
I don't think really he had a major influence on the game, to be honest with you. It didn't really look comfortable out around the middle of the pitch for me, or look to know where he was meant to be or what he was meant to do. And I said to you before the game, Rob, I think he's a full backline player. I think he needs to be our number 3 in the championship, and especially when we're playing the bigger teams like what's coming now in 2 weeks' time. I think he's more comfortable and more natural there, and that's the position that he should be playing for Mayo. But look, they tried something today in midfield. It's obviously something they've looked at in training over the last couple of weeks, but it will be interesting with everyone back now. Hopefully Jordan Flynn coming back in, maybe Jimmy O'Connor as well. You would expect to see Dave McBreen go back to the defence then.
Was there anything you saw today that just you took note of and said, right, beyond Ryan O'Donoghue, who we'll talk about a little bit before the end in more detail, but just anyone else that was just kind of like, or any patterns that made you think?
Not really. I suppose the big thing from New York, Cian O'Gee was trying to drop off as a sweeper in front of the Mayo full back line, so that left Fergal Boland in oceans of space, and he was getting on loads of ball and was involved in an awful lot of what Mayo did good, especially in that first half. But other than that, not really. Mayo were very aggressive on the New York kick out, as you would expect. That they wouldn't be good at getting off their own kick outs, and Mayo took full advantage of that and pushed on, and that's when Mayo looked at their most dangerous actually, when they won the New York kick out, because New York were spread out, they were all over the place and they didn't have people back in positions. And I'd say, I don't have stats on it, but I would imagine that's where we would have got an awful lot of our scores from.
Yeah, I mean, the first half, it was really intense for about 15 minutes there. They had to figure things out. I mean, it was a slow grind.
It's always like that here, Rob. Okay. They're always going to come with a bit of energy. They have to. Like they've been playing. This is their one game of the year. Well, obviously they go to the Tattoo Cup after this, but this is their home game. This is the one they're planning for. They're always going to bring that energy and intensity at the start. I mentioned to you, they were actually out here 3 o'clock game, warming up at 2:05, and by 2:15 they were going full leather into each other. And I'm thinking, it's 45 minutes for the game. It's really hot. You know what I mean? Obviously they brought that in for 15-20 minutes, but then they kind of wilted for the next period of time and Mayo ran away with the game. But in fairness to New York, I said it there in commentary, they never once gave up there. They were still going hard at the end there. They were still making tackles. They were still putting hits in, and they were staying in the game. And they didn't, it didn't get completely out of control. Obviously, the 2-21 is a big score, but they got a couple of scores themselves, and obviously the 2 goals are 2 major boosts for them going forward.
Mayo had 1-11 at half time, 1-9 from Ryan O'Donoghue. If he's not playing, are Mayo in a lot more trouble?
Well, it goes back to what I said. I think that's the one thing Kevin McStay will be taking from this, that you're disappointed that more forwards aren't getting on the scoreboard. Yeah, of course, if Ryan's not playing for us, we're in trouble, absolutely, because he's our best scoring forward. There's no doubt about it. He's our best scoring forward, and he's probably our best creative forward as well in what he does.
Was he the only forward that was really firing? For you?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I don't think
it wasn't just players kind of just in deference to him, because obviously a good few of them were frees. He kicked 1-3.
Yeah, but I think he won an awful lot of them frees.
Won at least half those.
Yeah, himself. Like everything was going through him for what I could see there as well. Like so, I think that's one thing. Kevin, look, it's great to have Ryan in form, but obviously you have to take into account what you're playing against today as well. And he's going to be very much focused and centre of attention from Davy Burke in 2 weeks' time, and that's a completely different kettle of fish. But yeah, great to see him form, but you would be disappointed that more boys, like I said, didn't get on the scoreboard.
And you were impressed, not impressed, but just because we don't want to be false platitudes here, but do you think New York will take a bit from this?
Sorry?
You think New York will take a bit from this in terms of...
yeah, absolutely. Look, it's more of a pride thing, and Anton, they hung in the game. I'm not going to say New York are going to win the Tailteann Cup. They're not. Absolutely, they're not. But, from a pride point of view and from just keeping the heads up, and, that a lot of people have come to watch them today from all over America and come to New York and flock for this game, they can't leave here and say, well, New York threw in the towel or anything like that, and they gave up after 20 minutes. They absolutely did not. They kept going right to the bitter end.
And from Mayo's point of view, final thoughts. Ryan will get all the headlines. They've got the job done. They've dealt with the weekend quite well.
They did. Yeah, they did. And it's just, like I said to you before, you just come here, you get the job done and get out there. And I know that sounds very cliched and whatnot, but that's what Mayo did. So from that point of view, they'd be happy.
Kevin McStay was doing interviews. I'm going to go. Stay home. You're
literally heading straight for the airport now and heading home.
All right, Colm.
Take care. Thanks, Rob.
All right, coming up now, audio from the game. Lots of really good stuff here. You're going to hear Kevin McStay speaking to the pool media there, the voices of Angelina McHugh. You're also going to hear the voice of Michael D. McAndrew. You're also going to hear the voice of Anthony Hennigan as well. And after that, Paddy Durcan talking, and then Alan O'Mara as well.
Our Out for the Match coverage in New York is brought to you in association with Mayo Day 2024, Chicago and Belmullet. Mayo Day will celebrate 10 years this year with a double celebration on Saturday, May the 4th. The Home to Mayo event will centre on the heart of the Wild Atlantic Way in Belmullet, while the international flagship Mayo Day event takes place in the Windy City of Chicago at Gaelic Park. So don't miss all the music, food, arts, crafts, history, heritage and family fun of Mayo Day on Saturday, May the 4th in Belmullet and Chicago. Connacht GAA is proud to support the Mayo Football Podcast in New York. You can watch the Connacht Under-17 and Under-20 football championships on Connacht GAA TV. Just go to connachtgaa.ie for more details.
Job done. Sometimes this New York fixture can be a strange one. It's a little bit different, but you came away with the win into a Connacht semi-final.
Yeah, and that was the objective, obviously, and come through it injury-free, which is always a benefit, and got a nice run out, and happy enough. Yeah, I'm happy enough with it. There's lots to be done now in the next fortnight as we get ready for Roscommon.
You mentioned, getting, I suppose, game time into lads' legs is very important. I know that was important during the league as well. Yeah. You got to do that today, and as you said, coming away without any injuries is a really big bonus.
Yeah, it was great bonus for us. That was the one we were worried about. Obviously, the expectation was we'd win and that we'd perform, and we pretty much did that. And it was a tricky occasion because it's full of Mayos, obviously, and you want to mix and have fun, but at the same time you have to keep focused on the game. So it was a good event, really brilliant crowd, great support for us, and we got a decent win.
Roscommon, 2 weeks' time, very little downtime by the time you get back to Ireland. And of course, last year they had a big win over Mayo, and they won't fear Mayo.
Yeah, and we won't fear Roscommon either. Obviously, we don't get really back to work now till Friday, which is the downside of the travel. But the upside was well worth it. We had a great experience for the 4 or 5 days here, and we're made feel very welcome by the Mayo gang and the New York gang as well. So yeah, pleased with that. But all focus now on Roscommon.
Obviously a 15-point win, Kevin, is impressive, but if you're to be critical, is there any aspect of the performance that you weren't happy with?
I like for it to always start with positives, Michael D, which is that we got the win. We got a 15-point win. It doesn't matter what you win by here, whether you win by 2 or 22, you're not going to take a whole lot from it. It's a fixture that I know from experience has been tricky, and we negotiated that quite easily. I think in the end there was never any great fear of the gap closing. Of course there's loads of work-ons for the week now ahead of us and into the following week, but I think it's a good place to be. We've lots to have a peep at, and lots of players to see what role they can play going forward into the championship.
Subs, Kevin, very impressive when they came on, but in particular I have to talk about Ryan O'Donoghue, 113 today. I mean, he was hugely impressive, not just from scores but indeed his work rate as always.
Yeah, well, look, he's a special talent. I think we've all known that. Probably best corner forward I've ever seen in my time, and it's come back a little bit in. So he's marvellous player, marvellous player, and leads by example from start to finish. He's just hyper competitive, and we're delighted to have him on our team wearing the Mayo jersey.
We're watching him actually on the sideline. He's very vociferous. There's a leadership role coming through him as well.
I think he was just born. He's just born that way. Like if he was having a game of marbles with you, he'd be up on top of you trying to win it. He's ultra competitive. He's very high standards, and he was a leader in the group the minute he joined it. And as I said, we're just delighted to have him on our side.
It's a phenomenal performance, but people will. He's kicked 113.
Somebody mentioned it might be a record
for. It is a record in this fixture for a Mayo player.
For a player, yeah.
But just on he kicked 1-9 of that 111 in the first half. What's your mindset on how the rest of the forwards are going in the first half like that?
Well, I mean, people are supplying him. He is a scoring forward. So he's always going to be, his first move is towards scoring. Then it's pass, then it's take on. They're the three options. But his option number one is scoring, and that's what he does. But the other players there was some great movement, some very slick hands. We generated a lot of goal chances. I don't have a count on it now, but the lads will tell me, I'm sure. And it was all tidy enough. Like the game was done at half time, and it's very hard to motivate it to keep it going. But I think we kept the same gap pretty much. Were we 12 and 12?
Yeah, because you spoke beforehand, Kevin, about the need to treat this as a very serious championship fixture. Yeah. It's something probably easier said than done. Yeah. With the circus around it, but the lads were pretty impressive how they managed it.
Well, I think they'll be a bit disappointed we'll be disappointed in managing the 2 goals. We'll have a bit of an inquest into and see how they came about. But in a general sense, the lads are really professional. I mean, they prepare really, really well. They understand the expectation around the fixture that we'll win it by double digits. That is everyone's expectation, and it's sometimes hard to deliver on that type of expectation. So I'm pleased. 15 is a good number.
A couple of goal chances there, players getting through on goal, and the shots weren't great. Are you putting that down to the way the game was had gone as a contest?
No. These are genuine goal chances, and we have to be better in front of the goal. That's and that's I said there's work-ons. That's number one work-on is to tidy up our play. But we're generating these goal chances very regularly, so I'm not going to get sleepless nights over that. Once we're generating them, and we're getting into position, I'm happy. One of the days we're going to stick them in the net, and then it's got to help somebody. So that's very positive from my point of view. I'm not counting what's missed. I'm counting what's been generated, and somebody is going to get on the end of those one of these days soon.
You wrote in the matchday programme about bringing 36 players with you. How important was that, and do you feel the benefit has come through?
Hugely, yeah. We're a big unit, Rob. There's 36 of us. I mean, flip the coin, leave 10 of them at home. How do you sell that now? And as that we're a team and we're a squad and we're a unit. So huge kudos to Seamus, our chairman, and the board that stretched it and got the 36 of us, the 36 players out here, and a big backroom team as well. So we have huge backing from the board. We've no excuse there, and it worked really, really well for us because they're involved. we're here for 4 or 5 days. We're looking ahead as well. Like, we're planning for what's down the line. It's not just New York, so we're getting work done. And obviously, leave 10 at home. We have to do that work all again. And how do they feel at home? Wouldn't be great, would it?
Roscommon in 2 weeks' time, Kevin. It'll be a short turnaround because you leave back Monday night into Shannon on Tuesday morning, probably training Thursday, then Sunday week is Roscommon.
And this is the downside, isn't it? We all know the schedule is just slightly off, but we've known it's been slightly off for 18 months now, and that's fine. So you live with it. We've been planning to get ready for Roscommon for a while now, so I have no issue with being ready for Roscommon Sunday week.
And at the same time, probably better preparation than you had for Roscommon last year.
Oh yeah, well, you saw the Westmeath result today, I'm sure. You can say all you want and we're ready and we've done our stuff, but it's just difficult to come from the high of winning a national title. You think you've it managed, but you're a bit flat, and once you're a bit flat in the championship, it gets squeaky, and that's the sense I have is that we'll be chomping by the time we get to Hyde Park.
At the same time, a little opportunity for some downtime tonight, perhaps?
Yes, they'll have a bit of fun tonight for sure, and we'll get home Tuesday morning. We'll have an early breakfast somewhere in Galway, and we'll be back doing a bit of light training Wednesday, but then the real stuff starts Friday, Saturday, and we get ready for us.
You can't leave New York without just talking about this crowd. You were talking to old friends there before you talked to us. What impact can this have? What benefit does it have when all these Mayo fans travel and all these diaspora come to see Mayo play?
Well, I'm not sure what it does for New York GA, but I know what it does for us. It really, connects us and grounds us. Like, we know that the Mayo fans, the diaspora, even the fans at home, you guys, that your identity is our team. The Mayo people identify us. They're not going to ask you how are things in the forestry industry. They're going to, how's the team going? That's their identity, and that's the first thing they want to know, who's going well and have we any chance. And so we have a great sense that we're representing the gang, and being out here really reinforces that. We've had some great connections with former Mayo people and so on, and they just look, the idea of seeing the green and red out here is terrific, and it's a very positive experience for our boys to be able to connect with that sense of sentiment and that sense of love and pride in what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Job done. Unique type of fixture, in being over here a couple of days and that. So, just happy to get the job done. Probably a lot to work on there that we'll look back on and stuff like that. But ultimately we got the win, and we have 2 weeks ahead now to prepare for the next game.
Yeah, the trip away can be a little bit difficult, and the championship, as we know, is very, very tight. So 2 weeks to a Connacht semi-final against Roscommon. It was a fixture that, obviously Roscommon won last year. So that'll be one that you'll very much be turning your minds to immediately. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, it wasn't much the focus today. Obviously, we just wanted to get over the line today. But quickly, look, our attention tomorrow is going to turn to the next challenge. And as I said, we do have a lot to work on there. But look, it's an exciting challenge and one we look forward to,
Is playing out here any different for a player? Obviously the prep means you have a flight where you usually have a bus journey or whatever to a game, but is it much different in the days leading up to it and even the morning of, etc.?
Absolutely, it is. There's no point saying any different. I know, look, we're out the last couple of days. You're used maybe when you're home in Ireland having your own kind of set routine and being at home and maybe going the night before, but obviously it's been a bit earlier, so it is unique. But look, it's great. We've such a support base over here, and look, we enjoyed the experience,
Just on the first half, was that what you expected? A kind of a tight, tense start. You had to figure your way through them a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Look, they weren't going to just roll over. They brought a physicality to us, and we knew that. So we did probably turn over a couple of balls at the start, and just took a small bit to get to the pitch of it. But look, we got there in the end.
How good is Ryan O'Donoghue right now? His form?
He's playing excellent. He's a real focal point for us there, and he leads the line really well inside there. So look, we're very happy to have him.
Did you feel the supply and the rhythm started to build in towards the end of that half, because you really did open up a big lead? The game was pretty much done by halftime.
Yeah, I suppose that was a big period for us in terms of stretching out that lead, and it probably gave us that cushion at half time to maybe keep New York at arm's length. So that was a crucial quarter.
Prep for this pitch, this surface, what was it like? How did you feel playing on it?
Yeah, I suppose, look, in terms of we're not too bad in terms of bacon. I suppose back there you have the outdoor Astro and obviously the dome as well. So I suppose we were somewhat prepped in that way in terms of getting a few sessions on that, and just tried to prep as well as we could.
And Conor Hunt made a debut today, I think. So, like, overall, a lot of players have seen championship action now in New York for the first time. This will be a big experience for them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, it is. It's great to have all, the panel here and everybody driving each other on. You get to spend, obviously, a good accumulation of time together and stuff, which is obviously beneficial as well on the pitch, but off the field too. So that hopefully gels a momentum within a team, and that's a crucial part,
Very tight turnaround now, Paddy, for Roscommon game. When you arrive back on Tuesday morning, back to probably live session on Wednesday, training then on Friday, and you've Roscommon just the following weekend. The good news is from today, really, it's a 15-point win, but it's coming out unscathed, really, no injuries.
Yeah, that's a positive. Obviously, you don't want any setbacks with guys, but no, we have a good kind of squad momentum between us there. There's a lot of guys pushing each other on, even fellas not in the 26 today, and look, that's at the forefront of any good group. So, as you said, it's a quick turnaround now, and we've got to drive and put the foot down again.
Great to have some downtime now as well. Of course, lots of your family out here as well, and that's the special thing about these type of games, that you can all just, I suppose, something out of the ordinary. Enjoy, relax, chill out, and meet all your family and friends.
Yeah, look, sure, it's a very proud moment anytime you get to play for Mayo. But I suppose when you see the amount of people coming over here and how well supported, it's not every county that has that. So look, you're in it for a certain period of time. Enjoy it while it lasts, and it's a privilege to get the chance to represent Mayo anytime.
You almost gave us the dream start, Paddy. There was a goal chance early on. There was lots of them this afternoon, but bottom the left upright, I think it was.
Yeah, I probably have to look back at it. I think that maybe I could have had guys on the outside of me. I was coming down to the middle and maybe should have given the pass. It's something I'll look back on. But we created a lot of opportunities. Probably didn't convert as much as we would have liked. But look, they're the work-ons definitely for 2 weeks' time.
You just touched on it there, Paddy. But I mean, I've met them this weekend. They've flown in from Chicago, San Francisco, London, Boston, Toronto. There must be a great sense of pride to captain a Mayo team out here on an occasion like this.
Yeah, there's a great sense of pride, I suppose, any day, but in an occasion like this, it is somewhat, unique in terms of bringing thousands. It's not every county that has that. So, it's something obviously we're very cognizant of as a group, and you never take lightly representing the chance for Mayo, because it's only a certain period of time, and then it's going to be, the jersey's going to be passed on.
And the flip side is we get to enjoy the likes of Times Square last night. You unfortunately don't. So it must be slightly strange watching that from afar, looking in.
It is, but I suppose that's probably just a unique bubble of the playing side of it. As I said, it's only going to be a certain period of years that we're in the playing side of it, and we'll be them people in Times Square as well. So it just is what it is.
Alan O'Mara, New York manager. First of all, disappointing obviously to lose by 15 points, but you must be very proud of your guys out there.
Yeah, 100% proud. As I said, definitely a mixed bag of emotions. Like any team I coach, whenever I played, I don't care who we're playing, we always prepare to win and to push ourselves as hard as we can. Our bunch has done that for months, fellas. It's a very self-motivating journey over here. There's no rotating squads during the National League. There's no 7 games of learning those lessons against opposition. We try to recreate it for sure, and it's not an excuse. We've done a huge amount of work. But I take a lot of pride from today. I think for us, making a jump up to play a Division 1 team like that. And let me be clear, Mayo's one of the best teams in the country. They're going to win the All-Ireland. That's what their target and aim is. And for us, it takes a lot of courage for lads to show up and want to go into that contest based on where they're coming from. And I think that the second thing that brings you pride today is the courage and the pride and the passion that they showed to keep plugging away, because there's lots of teams over the years all over the world that wilt when the pressure's on and you feel like the big dog's getting their foot on your throat. But our boys doubled down, they mucked in. I thought they fought for each other to the very end, and that's, as a coach, is really what gives you the most sense of pride and what I would be happiest with out of today.
It was spirited display, and right there up into that goal, really, when Mayo got that goal in 21 minutes, that's when Mayo started to pull away somewhat.
Yeah, it definitely was a big turning point in the game, and even just, I think I have to go back through it myself, but momentum just shifted there, and we probably just didn't. Sometimes I just describe the lads as an arm wrestle, and that's Mayo kind of pinned us down. We probably just didn't get enough back into it quickly enough, and we got in at half time all right, and definitely I felt that was a good moment for the group to regroup. The goal was a turning point for sure, and I said I'd congratulate Mayo as well. They came to play and to perform. I think they put in a very good performance. As from a New York perspective, I'm going away thinking about a list of 25 things that we need to work on and fix straight away, but I don't think it's down to the fact that New York played bad today either. Mayo played well, Mayo played good. We did some good stuff in patches, which I'm proud of, and the challenge for us is to make those patches longer spells, stitch it together for longer, so that we go home for the Tailteann Cup, which has been our aim. I've said it publicly from the start, that is our aim this year, is to go home to the Tailteann Cup and be a New York team that wins a senior championship game in Ireland for us, which is huge. And what we'll learn from today, playing against a team like that, as with the quality that they have, it's a huge learning opportunity for us, and we have to learn from it and use it to drive forward, and I'm excited to do that with them.
A number of homegrown players today as well, which is crucial.
Yeah, I think that's something that it's my first year in the job, but that's something that's been going on for years here on the ground. I know I gave like 2 debuts today. The goalkeeper is 20 years of age. I think the cornerback's 23. Both born and bred here, American kids growing up, love the game, huge passion, and they definitely jump out to me. You talk about pride, like how they performed today, and it's like they earned their spots by merit. They've done it the hard way, like they've shown that they're good enough, and today should give them huge belief in how good they are. And also, I say this to multiple people in our group, how good they can be and become. And there's multiple, like I have said it, like we don't differentiate between who's from here and who not, because the team is the team. But I think it is important to commend the job that's been done on the ground to develop players, and it's our job to keep bringing them through, because you can see there's quality on the ground here, and it's really exciting as a coach to try and stitch that together with. There'll always be rotation of lads coming from Ireland because of work and life. And I think you saw there, like this team is connected and together, and they do have pride with each other, and I'm very happy about that.
We were watching you in the warm-up. Colm Boyle was saying these lads are really going for this. Those first few minutes, the contest was tight. You must have been proud of them, but you needed a couple of more scores to make that half-time scoreline feel a lot tighter, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's probably like your immediate thoughts in the aftermath was just we need to be better at the transition from defence to attack, and then probably need to be a little bit braver, have that little bit more courage if those 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s inside to really back ourselves and take the risk there. I understand, like listen, from coach perspective, player perspective, I understand all what's going on in lads' heads, but that's a huge learning we take from it, because we did prepare, like we prepared really, really well. The lads worked, like I can't express how hard they've worked as a bunch, all 40 of them, to push each other on here. And yes, 15 men got to start the game, 26 got to wear jerseys. We have 14 lads today who are really disappointed, and they have to stick together now because there's lots of parts of our game that need to improve. But the only way you get better is by playing games and practicing it. And I think it's such a, like, the challenge of going up against Mayo is huge, but also the opportunity is huge, and the learnings are going to be huge for us. And I think New York just showed today that we are serious about GA, like we are serious about competing. And while yes, it's hard to go from not even playing National League to Division 1, there's also teams at home that struggle to make the jumps from 4 against 1 or 3 against whatever it is. But it's not making excuses, but I just think we've shown what we're capable of. I'm really proud of it, and I said I really want today to be a launch pad for the rest of our season. This is the start of our season, not the end, and that's kind of a nice thing to be able to say as a New York manager. For a lot of years this was one and done, and you were good luck and goodbye. And one of the reasons why so many players want to commit to this year is that the Halton Cup is there for us. You got this day out, you see the energy, we got a bit of nice weather today too. It's a special occasion here, but our season and our focus will switch to the Halton Cup very quickly, and I'm excited for it.
You got a great support too, just to finish, because everyone's going to be talking about the Mayo fans, but the roars on the goals. How important do you think last year is to New York GA, that breakthrough win? I know today was the game where they were rank outsiders, but we're just talking about the fact that they walk away with their heads high and something to look forward to. How important is that kind of support that you're getting now?
It's big, and also we need to keep growing it. And how you grow a fan base is by keeping a squad together, playing with pride, playing good football, like showing your commitment and winning games. And last year was huge for the whole group. And yes, there's rotation through the group. There's new players coming in, but it's really important that when you get supporters in the gates, the first thing, but then getting them off their seats and having them like entertained and having them engaged is another thing. And I think any supporter leaving here today, I'd imagine the very large majority will be going home saying New York, we're a competitive team, they tried hard, they've lots to work on, but also that there's potential there for us to get better. And as a coach, like as a manager, that's what I want, that's what I'm focused on. This group can grow and become better, and I hope supporters stick with us, keep pushing us on, because they've been great, by the way. And I think like last year was a big moment, and it's easy to walk in through the gate here today and be like, he's having a chance, and lots of people said that, by the way. But we've got family, friends, supporters. We're very proud of this team. It means a lot to them, and we're very proud to represent them, and we will continue to do that in the Halton Cup.
One more super piece of audio. This is actually my favourite piece of audio we've done today. Seán Reilly, who started the game, Charlestown links galore, Mayo links, but a proud born New Yorker on this side as well. And John Casey comes in for a chat too. It's like a photo bomb, but a podcast bomb. Can we call it a podcast bomb?
An audio bomb.
An audio bomb. Nice one, Finno. Another interview. We're on the pitch. It's cleared. There's a few people out having a can and relaxing. I think it felt like they were locals who probably are playing in the local clubs. It's a beautiful atmosphere here, Mike. We're all relaxed now. We've done the hard work.
Well, I have anyway, Rob. No, I'm only joking.
Wait a minute.
I think the man standing beside us has more than the two of us put together. But yeah, it's a lovely atmosphere here, isn't it? When the game is over and things start to wind down, and guys like Seán here just get a chance to maybe switch off for a couple of hours. But it's lovely. Yeah, really, really nice.
Seán, I can't call you Charlestown's finest or any of that kind of crack because John Casey is somewhere within 100 metres, so there's only one. But your links to home, you're proud of them, Seán Reilly, and you've born and bred New Yorker playing in this team as well. What does it mean to you?
It was a lot. It was way back in probably February when, earlier than that, probably January, when Alan came to me and asked me if I would come back on, and when having a discussion with my wife and my dad and stuff, it was playing Mayo obviously meant a little bit more. It made me want to play a little bit quicker than if it was maybe another county, because it was a proud day for me, proud day for the family. My dad played for Mayo, and my grandfather and my son in the crowd, so it was really, really nice. It was a proud moment. I wish I got to play a little bit longer, but it is what it is.
That's the joys of it. But I think New York are kind of coming away. I talked to Alan afterwards with a sense that like there's a lot learned here, and there's plenty of positive.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I've been a part of a few teams now with New York, and it's probably the best team I've been a part of. I'm a soccer coach myself. I coach in college, so I know like good chemistry, and the bones are there 100%. And I think in patches we've seen it. Like all the boys, the heads are up. We're chatting. We have a bit of banter in there. And we're all looking forward to the Tailteann Cup. I think if anybody were to watch that game, I think they'll be. Hold on a second here. We've got to take these boys a little bit seriously.
Yeah, I love the communication in those early stages. That first quarter was probably everything you wanted, bar a couple more scores, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just wasn't falling for us. Obviously, Mayo's backs are renowned for being excellent, and they love the one-on-ones. And I think we would be silly not to learn from them as well today. Picks up like the little sweep and keeper type stuff, and just the way they communicated. Even when the game was kind of dead and buried, you see them pointing and talking about creating standards. And Alan's done a great job of creating it, and our boys have done a good job of upholding them as well.
Mike, it's great to get a chance to chat.
Yeah, like I knew some of Seán's Charlestown connections, but then you spend a bit of time with John Casey during the week, and the man is an encyclopedia. And when he mentioned that your dad was Kenneth Reilly, I mean, my mind just immediately jumped back to the early 90s. I remember not just seeing your dad playing for Charlestown, but playing for Mayo, and he was a really stylish ball player, centre forward. He could kick a score, he could link play. I'm just curious, did you ever get to see him on tape, or did you ever get to see him even in his later years play a bit of ball?
There was something floating around on YouTube. There was a county final or county semi-final. Somebody posted on YouTube, so I finally got to watch a full 90 play. And yeah, it was like you said, he had a bit of everything. He wasn't all, like he obviously tells me, and he's modest himself, and people always tell me around the Gaelic Park, and I love hearing about it. And it was nice to see. It was nice to see, and people see that they see a little bit of me in him and stuff like that. So that's obviously really cool. And talking to him after the game today, he was proud as well. So it was, like I said, as a family, it was really cool. I wish Jack got on to get a run in to get another Reilly connection, but it's nice. It's nice training and doing the hard stuff with him during the winter.
And then, as well as that, you learn something new, because during the game, during the commentary, I get a WhatsApp from Martin Barrett, who I know well from Kiltane, the former Mayo selector, former Kiltane manager. Unbelievable football man. He's stone cracked into football, and he tells me that he's also related to you in that your grandfather, Seán Reilly, played for Mayo, played for Donegal, played Railway Cup for Ulster. I mean, that's an incredible lineage.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm glad to keep it going. Representing my county at this level, it was something that, like, I always, growing up in New York and going watching Mayo, being a fan of Mayo and watching all the games, I always took up Gaelic pretty naturally. I was always a soccer player, but I always felt, I did not pressure to do it, but I always wanted to continue on the Reilly name in Gaelic, because after hearing what I heard with my dad around these parts, and then obviously my grandfather and stuff like that, it always meant a lot to me to play Gaelic football. And my son was in the crowd today, Ciarán Reilly, so I hope we'll be talking about his name in a few years' time, and he picks up where I left off.
Wouldn't it be great? Were you here, Seán, as a matter of interest, in January? I heard the boys were here shoveling snow before one of the training sessions in January.
Yeah, we're gritty, man. We're gritty. It has to be done. It has to be done. We got to get the mileage in and get the touches in, and sometimes we have to pick up a few shovels and stuff like that.
Just while I think of it, because I know you want to go and relax, as you said, meet the family. What did you think of Mayo? What did you make of Mayo?
Because at the end of the day, we're talking to a guy who's played against them and wants to see them succeed.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a college soccer coach as well, so I'm into training and just seeing athletes, and that's what they are. They're athletes. I'm a little bit more humble now, where you always can point the finger where you're on the couch watching them and pissed off when they lose and stuff like that. But they're a different breed. When in the first few stages we're like, oh, hold on a second here, we might have something. But then when they just started clicking and getting into the rhythm, it was nice to watch. It sounds weird me saying that playing it, but I hope they can pick up, because they have a deep panel this year and a lot of young bucks coming in, and you just see they have it. They have it, and just hopefully it all clicks at the right time for them.
Just as a matter of interest, from an athletic performance point of view, or just a skill level point of view, who were the Mayo guys that when you did get up close and you saw them in the flesh, you thought, wow, that guy is maybe better than I thought, or top level? Again, for a guy who's a professional coach, you're a good guy to read it.
Probably Ruan in the middle, Jack Carney. Those two stood out, and number 8, I actually didn't know. I didn't know his name.
McBride, normally fullback.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know his name, and it just seemed just the way, like you said, just being an athlete, just being a cut above the rest, and just move the way he moves and how easy it is for him to move and tackle and run through tackles and pass. It was nice to watch. It was nice to be a part of, and like I said, I won't be as quick to tell them that they're not playing well some days when I know they're.
Turn around there. John Casey is here.
He is.
John Casey just ran half a pitch there, which I think was
hamstring gone.
How you doing, John?
See you, man. How you doing?
You. Good, man.
While you're here, the Colm Boyle Memorial Game, I know it's something all you Charleston guys are really passionate about. Tell us, what do we need to know in terms of where we need to be, and how big a deal it's going to be to pull it all together and actually pull it off?
Well, it's a massive deal for us. It's 2nd of June. A whole host of well-known inter-county footballers from current and, I suppose, previous experience all over the country have signed up to play in it, to honour probably one of our greatest in our club. So it's very important that, I suppose, the support is shown on it. And it's a wonderful facility. The pitch down there, it's going to be as good as anything that you'll see in the country. And today, coming here today, we consider this man a Charlestown man, even though he's born and reared in New York, played with his dad. Then you had Jack, and then you had Paul Towie on the other side for Mayo. So it's going to be a wonderful occasion. But Colm's pitch is going to be something that the club has basically honoured one of our best with. So I think that's important. Just know that.
That's class. I love that. I finished on this, Sean. I've been blown away by the amount of New York born people we've got a chance to talk about, but the energy that's coming through. We're hearing about a new facility in Yonkers, isn't it, for underage development. Like, we're going to be hopefully coming here for many times again. We'll say that because we love coming here with Mayo, as you know, but we're going to be hopefully seeing more and more people from, not even from Irish backgrounds, but most importantly from New York born players coming through.
Yeah, they're here. They're here, and I think Johnny McGeaney, 2 years on the trot there, he did a good job of bringing it in, and like I said, Alan's creating the standards, and he picked up where Johnny left off, but the talent's there 100%. We go back to the Fela, and they're competing in Division 1 now, the women's side as well, and I think for kids to look up to the likes, myself, for Jamie Boyle, and a lot of New York born players, seeing wearing the jersey, and they can aspire, just like boys in Mayo watching playing Aidan O'Shea and all them. They want to put the jersey on, and I feel like there's a disconnect sometimes with the New York senior team. And like I said, Johnny, the manager before, and Alan, they're doing that and much better now, where it's showing, hey, this is a pathway. You can come and do this too someday.
They've done themselves proud.
Absolutely, and just to reiterate what Sean said, whenever any of the New York Fela teams come home, people are literally bricking it, having to come. They can compete with the best teams, underage teams in Ireland, and New York. It's brilliant to see such a pile of players born and reared here being so good at Gaelic football. So look at that. I'm honoured to know I played with this guy's dad, and that he has decided to keep going at, and he's a professional soccer coach by trade. So it's great to see him playing GAA.
Sean, thanks for taking the time.
Pleasure.
John, as always, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Rob.
Final section of the podcast. Keane presses play on this particular clip that I've sent him and going, well, thank God for that, as he tries to edit it all together. Thank you to Keane McNicholas for making this possible. We got some supporters coming around to say hello to us as well.
Your fan club, Rob.
These young supporters just came up to us here, or came up faster than John Casey ran up to that interview there.
I noticed they're wearing New York and St. Barnabas tops, and they look like they're under sixes. So the future looks bright, Rob, of New York GAA.
Is the future bright for Mayo, John?
Oh, look.
I'm not asking you to be all Michael Random here.
Yeah. Look, we sell hope on this show, Rob. You know, so we're still in the Connacht Championship. I mean, last year we were out after the first game. We were out after 70 minutes. So we've already exceeded that this year. So who knows? Who knows?
Mike, sum up the day for us.
God, my day was busy, Rob. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts now. Enjoyed working with Colm Boyle, to give him his full title, on GA Go's coverage. The reaction seems to be fairly positive. Really enjoyed the day, and I have to say the help and support we got from everyone in New York GA here in Gaelic Park today was incredible, from John Fitzpatrick to Tommy Kavanagh, the PRO. I had a great chat with Larry McCarthy, the former president of the GAA, who was here essentially running the line in the under-14 exhibition game that was on before the Mayo New York match. He has settled right back in to his roots, and he was telling me beforehand as well that the structure that's being built down there behind the goal, behind the Broadway goal we're looking at, is going to be finished sooner rather than later. It is going to be a brand new clubhouse with dressing rooms, a restaurant, a bar. So hopefully, if we get to come back here in 5 years' time, Rob, we'll be able to sit in comfort and enjoy some of the night as it is. I think we're planning to head to McLean Avenue. Marcus Hannick and his wife Grania, the host with the most, are going to bring us down McLean Avenue for a while. And yeah, looking forward now to enjoying the last few hours that we have left in New York. It's been a great weekend, and I'm sure Mayo are relieved as well that it's, you know, boxed off and done and dusted. I think they're going to blow off a bit of steam as well for a few hours tonight, and well deserved. It was great, wasn't it? I know you were a little bit closer than I was, just on the sideline. It was great to get a ringside seat, though. Like, you don't get that. Yeah, like when you're at home.
Incredible. John is blown away.
Yeah. No, and not only just to say, I mean, I have just these most incredible photographs. I have one shot in the first half, which is the back of Kevin McStay's head and the action behind him, you know, and the shot.
What a fine back of his head it is.
The shot was framed on purpose. I had my artistic side out for the.
McStay names his team is going to have that photo on it many a time.
Yeah, so that was unique as well. But you're right. It's all right. I mean, we're saying about 5 years' time. I sincerely hope we are all back in 5 years' time, and
if the Lord spares us the health.
and if the GA spares us this fixture, you know, because I think it's so vital that this fixture remains. I'm going to keep banging that drum now.
Brilliant stuff. To the sounds of those under sixes having the crack, that's time for us to.
Yeah, and it's not it, because I mean the little go games on at half time as well. But you know, this is the future of the GAA, not only in Ireland but in New York as well.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, John. I think we might sneak in one more podcast around a round table breakfast maybe tomorrow if we have a second. Yeah. If we have the energy.
Looking forward to it.
Our listeners expect.
Right now, I'm looking forward to John buying his round, Rob.
Oh, interesting change of pace there. There's been comments online about that, Mike. Right, folks, Mayo win. Onwards to Roscommon.